Okay. Okay, let's see. So, yep, this is an excellent idea the Pixel came up with, and I was thinking it's a light bulb moment, right? When you hear that great idea and you're like, it has to be that. That's that's way better than even what you did, right? Which is kind of a bummer because I spent quite a bit of time on this guy. And I'll be honest with you, I spent a ton of time working on this zombie hand. So it's gonna go away because of Merle. So yeah. So okay, let's see. I'm gonna show you how I do it from the ground up. Maybe it takes a little longer that way, but it's kind of cool too. Kind of cool to see. So let's just put it right there. Let's make a box. And I'm gonna just line it up with this guy. Boom, boom, boom. Excuse me. Let's see. So this is how I originally made the. I make everything like this from boxes. You start with boxes, right? Um, and you kind of want to do that when you're building 3D. It kind of keeps everything. I don't know how you would describe it. Safe, good. You're not going to have a problem printing it, for example. And if you're going to do something like animate it, you're going to have less problems if everything is um, boxes. So you kind of want to do that. And before I do that, let's do this. Let's get an idea of who we're doing. This guy here, you can see him pretty good. What's up, Scooter? You can see him. He's pretty. I mean, he's pretty distinctive. Is a better shot, right? And I'm also going to make. Obviously, I'm going to make that mechanical hand with the bayonet on the back on the end of it, which is going to be fun. That's going to be fun to make. So, right. So right now, I'm not going to worry too much about exactly what he looks like for the first 5 minutes or something. I'm just going to actually build the basics of his face. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. No, I'll tell you what. Let's do it like this. So this is kind of how I like to start. I like to make holes for eyes. And, to somebody that's never even seen it done, it kind of seems, maybe it seems rudimentary or something. I don't know. But you could do it all different ways. Different software does it a different way. ZBrush does it a different way. I kind of like this way. I think I am going to give him a nose because I want you to recognize him. You know what I mean? So let's see. I'm going to pop up his nose a little bit. Just a bit. Like that. Right? Just to get your basic shape. After that, I can go to town on sculpting him and making him look like the guy. But let's see. Add some vertices, break it up a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. And I'll pop you at the top too. Okay. Okay. You find 3D people talk to themselves sometimes. So don't be shocked. Cool, man. Awesome. I'm glad you started following me. That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. 3D is just a lot of cool things you can do with 3D. I mean, clearly you're figuring that out, Scooter, but Um, you know, it opens up a lot of options as to what you can do. Compared to some things, it takes time. You know, and everybody wants to rip on 3D because they think it's easier and everything or whatever. They have their own ideas about what it is. It's just a trade-off. You can do some things really fast in 3D, and you can't do other things you can do way faster 2D. So, um, you know, everybody's got an axe to grind, right? Everybody's got something to complain about. It's not this, it's not that. It's like, screw that. Let people decide what they like. Okay. Um, Here we go. Super basic. You kind of get the idea. Um, yeah. I might add the ears later. I don't know. Okay. I'll figure that out later. So the other thing too is that he has a torso connected to him. And from messing with it earlier, when I was working on this guy, I'm going to make it a separate piece because there's no reason not to. It's just make it easier this way. Um, but I am going to give him a neck. So let's go through here. Let's shrink it. Boom, boom. Let's just call that the neck, or lack of a better way of saying it. Okay. That should be fine. I think that should be fine. Okay. So that's 3ds Max. This is Mudbox. Mudbox is a sculpting software. So you can treat things like clay, like that, right? Right. I didn't know that Adi Grant. Wow, I didn't know that. His stuff is awesome. I love his artwork. And if you want to pick on his art, if somebody wants to pick on his artwork for being 3D-ish in a way, that's crazy. So yeah, so Mudbox, you can do a bunch of things. You can grab things and pull them like that. You can sculpt like this, like that. You can go down. You can go up. You can smooth, right? And there's a bunch of other like things you can do with it. But those are the basics, and you kind of get the idea. So, okay. So what am I going to do with this guy? So let's hide his teeth right now. Let's hide some of these things because I can use them, but I'm going to use them later. Making teeth is fun. I'm going to tell you. It's a lot of fun. Let's hide that. I spent so much time on this hat. It is what it is. It's a better idea, so you have to chuck it. Chuck it. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to send this to Mudbox. Boom, boom. Kind of get an idea of how that works. It automatically goes there. Keep it. You don't need to know what that means. And there we go. Good question. It does now. Nowadays, you have to be subscription only for 3ds Max. This is Mudbox. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see it. 2017. And they started doing that subscription thing. And I was like, I don't think so. This sounds like bullshit. I'm sure that most people kind of, the thing is that they there's cool stuff in the new software, and they knew that ahead of time. So you know, yeah. So I don't do the what's up, Fanta? Yeah, I don't like the idea of paying monthly. I don't like renting things forever. Fuck that. That's some kind of scam, right? And it's, by the way, it's not cheap. Okay, I don't know what they're charging now, but before it was like $1,000 a year, right? And it adds up. That adds up. I want to own it forever when I buy it. So, um, so anyway, so you can sort of see I'm kind of just softening everything, getting it less boxy, right? Starting to move around. This is sort of the adjustment phase, right? Like his head's got to be higher. It took me. I'm going to just tell you, it took me a long time to get his face to look remotely like it should. Okay, so you know, th- this guy's not too hard. He has some distinctive features on him, like the way his brow is and the way his mouth is. So he's not going to be super super difficult. The other guy, Daryl Dixon, he's looks like a model, and you can quickly. Yeah, well, I don't know if I would say I would. I didn't finish him, right? I mean, I still might go back and add more stuff. I don't really want to make the model more dense than that right now. But the face is probably the most important thing. So I might go back and tweak it, the way I do the hair, which is more stylistic, I do it this way because when you print it, it looks kick ass, right? Real hair is obviously not that thick, but when you 3D print it and you paint it, then it looks, I believe it looks really nice, So I intentionally make it this way. So yeah, so let's see. Yeah, portraits are, it's a thing. It's definitely a that alone is a thing to learn, the way to get somebody's likeness. You know, um, I think that there are techniques to make that happen. Like you can learn the techniques of proportions and matching somebody's proportions, how far apart their eyes are, you know, stuff like that. Son of a gun. Okay. So yeah, so stuff like portraiture, stuff like this brow ridge right here, how that lines up to this right here, his hairline, right? That's another one. You got to get those down if you're going to do something like portraiture, Um, so let's see. So in 3D, I'm working now. I'm intentionally working in this coarse mode, low poly mode right now. But eventually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to subdivide it, and you can do it more and more, right? Until it's super dense. I'm not going to do that just yet because there's no reason for me to. It's kind of a waste of time. Let's rename this model. Right. So yeah, so there's the other thing. Oh, here's the eyeball. The other issue is how much of a zombie do I want to make this guy look? He's got to look like he's been living in the mud. That's kind of what I want him to do. But I want to have some of the features this actor has, so that you sort of recognize him. So that's kind of the idea. See, he has this kind of droopy face already, right? So yeah, it's and it gets crazy, man. You like the distance now between his nose. I know you can't see it very well. The nose. So I want more. I want more there. And it's tricky. Cartoon people are not the same as realistic people, and I'm sure you that's obvious to say, but proportions are totally different. And if you don't make it realistic the way things really are, then the viewers are going to know it right away. So, for example, doing this guy is totally different than doing the Hulk because the Hulk can kind of be monster-ish, right? So you kind of do whatever you want that looks fun, and it's not the same thing as catching a likeness, as you probably already know. I know, so do I. I watched the new season. I watched the Daryl Dixon show where he's in France, and then I watched some of Fear the Walking Dead. I think it is. Um, you know, I mean, did you guys watch it? Because I don't want to like go bad on it. You know, you know how like in the old TV shows you'd have things happen that were just they're kind of like TV isms where they're on the run, and all of a sudden, right around the corner, come 20 guys with their guns pulled already, and you wouldn't have you in real life you would have heard 20 people, right? And so all of a sudden, all they come around the corner in the woods and they stop your people, your heroes from getting somewhere. There's a lot of that. I saw a lot of that, and I was like, this is a different thing. I'm just gonna call it a different thing. It's not doesn't feel realistic. One of the things about Walking Dead is that it felt really realistic. I don't know if other people thought that was a cool thing. That's what I was attracted to, the fact that it felt real, you know. So that's kind of like going away. I don't know what's going on, you know. Forget about all the woke stuff too, you know. But right there he is. There he is. So I'm going to subdivide it. Give me a little more to play with. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to isolate it. So in 3D, a lot of times you have a lot of stuff around you when you're working. And it's it's a nice option to not be worried about it and to just isolate. And that way you can just work on that part, you know. And it takes up less memory on your PC, you know. So that's a good thing. But it's just easier on your brain when you're working on whatnot. All right. A lot of times when you're doing these things, they look up until the end, they look weird, right? Um, let's see. Make it like that. All right, have a good one. Let's see. There we go. His chin is pretty big looking at this photo. And I think that's a pretty strong feature. I think I'm going to have to include that. I'm going to want to include it. And, you know, I have other shots of him, like this one here, right? This will definitely help me get his look down. He has hair on top too. I want to make that hair. Right. Okay. Let's see. All right. So a lot of this stuff you're not going to see, but I like to make it right. Kind of like when you drawing through, right? Make everything correct, even if you're not going to see it, because it adds up. It adds up. I guess I can do his ears, I suppose. So a lot of 3D programs, for people that don't know, son of a bitch, you can work in mirror mode, which is this right over here, and I'm working in this X. So if I do something on one side, it'll do it on the other, and it's pretty good. The end goal for this project is I'm going to end up um, printing that thing, that model, that 3D model. Maybe somebody wants to buy it. I don't know. But I was like, okay, like I go like this, and I'm like, okay, who made that? Who's the guy that made that? Because that looks pretty freaking good, right? So I'm often surprised about how good it looks, you know. Um, yeah, so he's got a base. I also do commissions for people. So I don't know, Scooter, if you have your own project or people that do, I do 3D modeling for other creators, which is kind of fun. Um, uh, okay, stop. Um, and I've done it in the past, done some really cool ones too, which is a lot of fun working on somebody else's project, to be honest. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't want to subdivide like crazy just yet. Um, when you subdivide a model, you can only do the whole thing. It's hard. You can do. I'm going to add. Let's hide that. Let's just hide it. I'm going to subdivide that area. Okay, so this is one way you can. I don't want to subdivide the whole thing, right? It gets crazy, crazy fast. So this is a quick way you can subdivide and get. It's 2 cores now for me to actually do something with. I might as well do this right here while I'm here. Okay, that'll work. There we go. All right, let's there we go. Let's hide him. And let's just to make it simple, let's bring this guy back in. I'm gonna send him to Mudbox. Bang, pow. And there he is. He has more vertices. Okay. So let's see if I can do the ears. Fuck. Look how fast. He eats it up. It's already low res already. There we go. This is sort of speed modeling, I think they call it. But you kind of get the idea. His ears are too big. There we go. I mean, you know, I've seen worse, right? Okay, it's a good start. So you want to, I like to go around the whole model and get everything at the same level of completeness myself. But something like that. He's kind of, I mean, he's kind of got a big jaw, right? He's kind of got a long jaw, a long face. He's got a long face. I mean, I'm kind of doing it. I think that's it. Yeah, I've heard I, people have asked me about Nomad. From what I see, it looks like a ZBrush light, which is a good thing. Is Nomad free? Right. Shallow features. You know, that is true. Shallow features, thin lips. Like I said, like if you're doing the Incredible Hulk, it's you know, it's you can make the lips anything as long as they look like they have dimension. And but when you're doing a real person and they have shallow lips, you know, that is this guy also has shallow lips, right? His are pretty shallow. I mean, they're almost and getting that overbite of his correct was a challenge. So I'm not going to say it wasn't. Um, but yeah, it's tricky, man. And you know, and this guy's a zombie, so I imagine he has a long face. I imagine he has long ears too. Let's put this in. Let's do that. Obviously, the neck is too big. Okay, I think that ear. Go back a little bit. I think this can come up. Anyway, this is kind of how it's done. I wish I had profiled this guy. You know, the other thing about Nomad is that I'm working on Windows 7. And a lot of the software will not be, you can't put it on Windows 7. So that's one challenge I've got. Because I would like to use ZBrush, you know, because I think it's got better features. And I think it's a one-time buy too. So um, there's always that. So I don't know if you know this. One of the cool things, all the software has this, but the way they do it in Mudbox is when I'm ready, and see how this is getting all stretched out. For people that don't know, this is getting all stretched out. I'm not going to be able. It's going to be. You want all these vertices to be the same size. All these little polygons to be the same size, roughly. You don't want it. You don't want things to be stretched, right? That's low res, and it's going to look that way when you print it 3D or when you do anything with it. You know. So you can retopologize. So if I wanted to, I could go here. I'll do a quick one just to show you. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yep. It'll definitely I mean his jaw already is larger than a female's, you know. But yeah, for sure. I'm gonna push all those. See, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make him look zombie-ish. So I think I could maybe put, I don't know if I would put skin on them. Anyway, so what I just did was I made a new model, and now it's all everything's laid out evenly, right? So that's you can do that. You do that maybe in a model 4 times or something, you know. So it's you do it every once in a while when things get too stretched out. Let's see. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so his jaw. There we go. One thing I personally like about 3D is that I can push and pull forever until I get what I want. I like that. It's it's just the way I like to work. It gives me options. It's not one of those art forms where you have to get it right away, right? I personally, I that's something I appreciate. By the way, in the TV show, this guy Merle, this guy right here, dude, he had his a guy like that adds so much to the show. Okay, his lip is a little taller than that. Go down a little bit more. Okay, and let's do his eyes. The distance between the nose and the eye socket, right? He has kind of a droopy eye socket compared to most people. Um, and let's see. I'm going to plot that out. Let's see. Right? And I'm going to start bumping his nose. He's got the nose. Okay. Oh, stop. Okay. He's got, okay, baby. Whoa. He's got this brow. And a little narrower from what I can see. Got a little bit of this. Yeah, that is true. Uh, when I went to art school, they did not teach us that. Good thing I spent all that money, right? Would have been nice to know like a good process. Okay, it's getting there. Let's see. Um, all right, so as the zombie, I'm gonna have his mouth open, right? So I'm gonna do that now, so I don't have to do it later on and make it a deal. So I'm gonna, for right now, I'm gonna do it symmetrically. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it feels natural to everybody. Um, I'm gonna start giving him like an evil. I mean, I'm gonna have to change this guy a little bit, or I should say, I'm gonna have to catch him while he's angry. I mean, that's not really. I guess that's kind of what I'm looking for. I guess I could do that. Um, for me, I could naturally sculpt. I never sculpted until I was in my 40s, and I was like, wait a second, whoa! I understood this right away, and I could do stuff right away. I knew anatomy from art school, right? Um, see, he's got a thing going on. He looks like he's smiling a little bit. Just with having his mouth open like that. Normal people who are angry don't really look quite like that. Right? 40, I mean, 46, you know, I think a lot of things make more sense when you get older, right? You can wrap your head around stuff. So 46 is, you're there, buddy. See, this is what I'm going to fight with this guy is I don't want him to look like he's smiling. Or maybe I do. I don't know. It's kind of counterproductive to the whole thing, but um, yeah, that's probably a good idea. I could have one eye bugged out and the other one squinting, right? Or maybe they're both bugged out. I don't know. Um, a lot of times you just got to try it to see which one works, right? One of the weird things about 3D is you're working like this, which is almost 2D. And then when you rotate it, you're like, oh, I you think it would make sense, but it doesn't, right? His nose is all smushed in, and you've got to go back and you got to work here, and then you got to work here, right? You got to work here and make sure that works. Doesn't happen automatically. But that's the fun of it too. See, he has got a big nose. There we go. Okay. So if you're going to use Nomad, which I watched, oh yeah, that'll happen when you reverse your sketch. Oh yeah, yeah. Nomad has a different way of building geometry. Mumbox doesn't build geometry, just so you know. Um, uh, so in you build all your geometry out of those spheres that you push and pull and stretch around, which is an excellent way, by the way. When I first tried to learn ZBrush, I was like, "What is this? I don't even understand what the hell this is." Right? But then I realized afterwards, it's like that's their way of making organic geometry for the artist. And I I worked on a flame for 15 years, 10 years, something like that. I forget. Um, flame is like uh, After Effects on steroids. And for a long time, that's all they used for making movies, doing compositing and stuff. So I worked on the flame for a long time. And So when you get into the world of 3D, you're like, I don't even understand why this is what it is. Like it doesn't. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. And so you realize that this software is all built for experts who want exactly the thing they're looking for, right? So by the time you get to it, it's a highly refined thing. So you just have to trust the fact that they've thought it through well. So that's always been good advice for me. Just trust the fact that this isn't dumb. This is laid out correctly. Let's see. Because I don't want to have too much space in his mouth because it's going to get filled up. Um, but I want to have enough to make the shape. Okay. Tricky. It is tricky, man. Doing something like this, and everything is so subjective, right? One person says that looks just like him, another person's like that doesn't look anything like him. And unless you nail it 100%, you're gonna get that. There's no way around it. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, right. Um, that is an excellent point. Um, and the way I do it kind of like that. Oh, I see. I got you. You use that for the lighting to see where things are set up. Um, when I do a figure for another creator, um, the way I start it is a lot like what you're talking about. Um, I wonder if I have him here. I don't think I do. Um, I build everything on the boxes. So what I do is I build a guy. I build a figure out of kind of the thing you're talking about, right? Like this is his arm, and then this would be his forearm, and then there'd be like a body over here, and then I pose that, and I get that so that I know, like, hey, this is what the pose is going to be, because getting that pose is so important, and a lot of times the artist has already done that. They've already spent a lot of time working out, like, the way Cyberfrog is twisted and bent, right? He's contorted sometimes. So, someone like Ethan's already figured out what works. And so I love to grab their what they've already tapped into, right? Because the idea is to make their product as awesome as possible, right? So that's one of the things with Cyberfrog is he's twisted and contorted, and that's one of the factors that makes him really exciting. You know, um, let's see if I can show you. Give you a good idea. So just as for fun, I did Cyberfrog, and I'm saving this right now so I can open it up. And I did Cyberfrog, and I took it from the cover. I think his cover number one has him um, jumping in the air or something. Let's see. What? Cyberfrog B2 Yeah, that'll be fine. Right? This is the actual Cyberfrog pose. My camera's blowing it out. You're having a hard time seeing it. Let's see if I go to play. Yeah, there you go. So I like to find the work that they've already done and then use that to make the figure. And it works. You know, it really, yeah, he came out really good. I mean, you know, I could have made him even more detailed, right? This is not, he's only going to be, I made him to be printed super small. So at a certain point, you know, you're like, I'm not going to throw detail that you're never going to see in there, you know, but I could make it, I could give like uh skin texture on him and whatnot, you know. Um when I did I don't know if you, I'm sure you've probably seen this one, but I did sell an Android and let's open up this one. This is Android, and I use a one panel from his comic book when I did this. There we go. You can sort of see him. So I mean, the artist has usually done quite a bit to make their character super dynamic, right? So to me, that is not only is it stupid not to use it because that's what they want, right? But it's also, it just makes the idea more fire, right? It makes it more exciting. It brings it to life. So yeah, I put Cyberfrog on the side of the and Blood Honey on the side of the car, on the side of the wheels, and then I put EVS right there. So you know, small stuff, but anyway, yeah, he's from one panel. There's one panel where he's fighting the Visits or whatever that you pronounce it, and he picks up a car and smashes them. So I use that. Okay, back to this guy. Um, I mean, yeah. Do I draw or sculpt or draw, sculpt, draw? I mean, you stop drinking. That would be the first step, and then form a coherent sentence. Um, no, I mean, everybody's different. You know, whatever you feel comfortable with, I would say go with that. You know, a lot of times if you just do stuff, in time you'll figure out your own way, right? You'll figure out your process that you like. That's been my experience. Is that you might even like if you work for a company, they might force you to do things a certain way, you know? Right, right. Good one. Good one. Um, but it is a good question, you know. Process is a good question for 3D people. Normal people don't really, they don't want to, you know, they just want to see the final thing, you know, logically. But for people like us, you know, the process is part of figuring out how to be able to do it, right? So normal people like just fucking show me the thing, show me the thing, you know. Even like doing something like this, normal people, it's pretty interesting. I think they find it like fascinating. Um, I'm not really sure if they really want the process or it's just they want to know, they want to see it once or twice, right? Because it takes time, you know. And so, you know, I don't know if they want to sit there and do it. You know, if you're an artist and you're watching something like this, you're thinking, how can I do that? How can I learn how to do it? Because that's what I did, right? I used to look at stuff and I'd like, how the hell did somebody do that? Right? Oh my god! But yeah. So, oh yeah, totally. You do. I mean, you do. I would say that's largely a good way to start, but I also see how concave his eyes are, right? Um, it's good to learn the process, but then you end up coming up with your own. That's kind of what I expect people to do is come up with their own pipeline, for lack of a better way of saying it. And that way you're going to be comfortable with the process. All that matters is that you have a way to get from A to B, so to me that's the big thing. um, all right. So his bags are way far bigger, right? Starting to get the structure. This is the structure phase. I don't know how other people do it, you know. Getting this, the details will come later, but getting this correct is a big deal. Um, and okay, there we go. That's probably true, but that's probably true. But Frank Frazetta, I think he worked for the big. He learned as a young guy. I think he worked for some famous cartoonist when he was younger. So original original is a figure of speech to some degree, right? So Frank Frazetta learned the ins and outs while he also is a natural talent. Okay, so he might have learned stuff from the people he worked for when he was a kid and then threw it out. That's likely too. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but um, yeah, he's obviously a one in a million artist, Frank Frazetta. There's no question. I mean, I took in one of my classes in art school. It was called History of American Illustration, and we had a part of it was just on graphic novels and fantasy artwork and people like that. And other ones were about people like N.C. Wyeth and Norman Rockwell and people like that. Um, and Frank Frazetta is in a completely different league of his own. Okay, the guys the famous illustrators of American illustrators, he's not better. Like he was not like, because they're all amazing. Okay, and so, by the way, so are all the people in the indie comic scene, in Comicsgate, and even people that aren't in Comicsgate who are just, you know, they're pretty phenomenal. I mean, what they can do is amazing, right? But for in my personal opinion, Frank Frazetta is it's the mixture of his awesome drawing skills, his technique as an oil painter, right? And then the content. Like you couldn't get somebody to copy that, right? You couldn't get um, you know, NC Wyeth. You couldn't say, hey, copy that, do 3 paintings in that style, right? They would look like total shit. Um, they would look, but then again, Frank Rosetta could not do what NC Wyeth did either, right? If you did Last of the Mohicans, it would look, it wouldn't look magical the way NC Wyeth did it, right? I mean, most artists, in my opinion, are tapped in. Fuck. See, look how low res it's already getting. Son of a gun. Most artists are tapped into something, and they're good at that. That's my opinion about stuff like that. Um, so obviously, Frank Rosetta could do a portrait of his wife or somebody like that, no problem. That's not a problem. That's just that he's not tapped into what Norman Rockwell is tapped into, right? Oh, really? Wow. Well, that's if you're in the company of Simon Bisley, that's pretty damn good, dude. I mean, you know, there's worse company to be included into. Okay, I mean, Simon Bisley is another example. Simon Bisley is a obviously you already know this, but I'll just say this for people listening for the chat. People watching the show. Simon Bisley is a 1 in a million type artist, right? He figured out a cool style. Drawing for him, he probably knew how to draw kick-ass, crazy, realistic when he was in his teens, right? And now he just kind of puts it in his pocket and doesn't really worry about that. And if he's gonna draw crazy, weird, crazy stuff, then that's what he's gonna do. And it's not something he even has to think about. I love to see your stuff. I bet you I follow you on Twitter. So many people, I forget. I'm sure you got kick-ass cool stuff. But even that, even like copying somebody like Simon Bisley, yeah, eventually you're gonna want to break away from that. I'm sure. Okay. All right. 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 So just for people watching that don't do 3D, like I said before, I'm starting to get in the direction I want to go. And then when you go sideways, you're like, that doesn't really look like the one guy I was looking for. So everything gets pulled and stretched, and you got to go from other angles. It drives you crazy sometimes too. I'll give you so here's a good thing. So right now I'm looking at the photo of this guy, and I'm looking at his nose. Right now, my nostrils are raised up towards the camera a little bit, and his aren't. So I've got to lower them to get them correct. It's hard to matching it. Part of matching it. Let's see. But it's also being observant enough to catch that. And I think, most portraiture artists, that's one skill they have is being super observant of things that make the portraiture work. And I'm not a portrait artist, so I gotta figure it out as I go. Right, something like that. That's a little closer. His nose is a little wider. And I'm gonna do this push and pull thing. Right. You caught it before I caught it. That's the thing, the artist can't see the forest for the trees, and even a normal person who has no artistic skill, and I know you do, but you just brought up a good point, is that a bystander can walk by and go, yeah, that's wrong. That thing looks wrong right there, and they don't have the skill to do it, which I know you do, but they don't have the skill to do it, but they can see the forest for the trees, right? Right. So his head's too tall too, right? Son of a gun, stop it. His head is too tall. You're also, when you're catching something like this, I'm constantly looking at all the aspects, right? Not just the nose or something like that, you know? So it's fucking tricky stuff, you know? And it's easy to get. So right now, his eyes are too far apart. Um, so the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to go boop, like that. And let's see, I'm going to make his droopy eyes, right? He's got this whole thing going on. Stop it. Stop. That is true. Some people do have high foreheads, right? Yeah, I mean, that's but that's what doing this kind of a thing is, right? Obviously, it's there's a zillion little like visual cues to make this person look like the person you're trying to make it, right? So while you're looking at the forehead, then you're looking at how the eyes are, and then you're looking at the nose and the mouth and then the overall shape. I mean, it's actually kind of fun. I'll be honest with you, it's kind of fun to do something like this, um, and it's really fun when you go, whoa, whoa! I fucking got into something right there. I got it. Eyes are too small. Oh wow! Look at a different photo. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that would help, just so you can see, right? Okay, okay. Oh yeah, totally, totally. I also look at the regional racial makeup of different types of people. Like I look like an Eastern European, which is where my people are from, but and it's a type, right? This guy here looks like a type. You've seen him, right? And his eyes need to be droopier, right? And his eyes can be farther apart. I just put them together. Right? His mouth looks fucking weird. It's too gapy. Well, he could be a decent dread. I'll admit that. He could be a decent dread. Obviously, what's his name? Um, the guy who's doing it now is pretty damn good. What's that guy's name? Dr. McCoy from Star Trek. right? See how this is curved? In this guy, it's more angular like that. And by the way, just so people know, save often, save every 5 minutes. Control S is your friend because the software will crash. And when it does, you're fucked. Do a quick. So for people who tune in that haven't talked about, so I'm working in mirror mode. So if I do one thing, it does it on the other. So when I do the ears, doing it over there, right? Which is a nice time saving kind of thing. Right, see the nose looks weird. But that will all look gorgeous in the end. Let's see. Just do the basics of an ear. I don't want to get too crazy with it yet. Right. Here we go. In the scheme of things, that's in the direction of this guy. So I've been doing it for an hour. It looks pretty damn good for an hour's work. Eventually, it'll look gold. But, while I'm here on my soapbox, I'm just going to tell you, listening to people complain about 3D is fucking ridiculous. I think it's kind of lame, actually. I'm like, yeah, you try, buddy. Get your ass over here and get your ass on the mud box and ZBrush. Let's see what you do. You know? You know what I might end up doing is thanks, man. I might end up doing is getting his face the way I want it correct, make it look like him. When I get it there, then I'm gonna destroy parts of it, if that makes sense, right? So I have the proportions all set, and then I'm gonna go back and then remove portions of it. So if I remove like his eye socket and put like a giant empty space there, or whatever, make his lips all carved out so you can see the teeth come through, stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of how I like to work, is to get that correct and then pull it apart. Let's see. And his eyes. I mean, sometimes when you do this stuff, you don't know how to make it correct. You just keep moving. You just keep doing it. Oh, yeah, the nose. The nose looks like an old dude. He's not that old yet. Right? I got to get a profile of this guy. And let's add some lips to him. Right? I also think, see, that's how that nose happens when I move the nose up. So Mudbox has a thing that's kind of cool, actually. You can Totally. You can freeze. I don't know if they do how other people do it. You can freeze parts of the model, right? So that when you can't affect it. So it comes in handy when you do stuff like this, when things are so close together that you just want to move everything and not grab the lips, for example, right? But I want a big brush to do it like that, like that. That comes in handy. It's probably too much actually, but that's okay. Um, all right. Let's see. I mean, it's getting there. Okay, so his brow, I'm all over the place. His brow, a little bit like this, right? A little bit like that. That's in the vein. That's in the realm of being correct. Um, most people look the thickness of the head. This side is different than than I think it is when I draw it. Right? There's a thickness to it. Let's see. God, those ears seem big. But his ears are big. Okay. Now I get it. This turns it down. Something like that. Something in the realm of something like that. The brow has a high line through where you did. Okay, let me decipher that. Oh, well, I still think this is too big. Right, the Loomis idea, right? Um, I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to. What the fuck? Look at that! Look at that! That's kooky 3D stuff right there. Look at that. That's from. I know what that's from. Right. Now look at that. Probably something like that. I think his nose is should be wider and the brow itself. But the brow should the center, and then it gets narrow here. Right? Temples need outage. I think that's totally right. First of all, let's just smooth everything out. And then boom. Too bad this guy didn't have a distinctive. Yeah, my skull is too narrow. Yeah. Too bad this guy didn't have a distinctive hat. You know, it'd be kind of cool to put a distinctive hat on this guy. Because in real life, that guy wears a distinctive hat. Um, well, maybe I mean, maybe I could put that hat on him, the real life hat, right? Right. Boom, boom, boom. Right. Let's say Elephant Man. He's got Elephant Man head. It's a ball thing. Yeah. Okay. Stop. 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 There we go. God, symmetry gets all screwed up. Um, in Mudbox, local X is X according to the orientation of the model, and then X is the actual X and like according to the grid. So I didn't have that option. I would have done that normally. I wouldn't have that option if I was building him in place, right? All right, now he's got a brow deal going on here in real life. So let's do that. Let's start doing some distinctive things that he has. Right? He's got this thing going on. He's got some puppy right in the center too. He has a deal there. And huh. Okay. There's always that. So you know better than most how that looks. You're an expert. Um, sounds like you're from Australia or something. Is that right? I guess I can. I'll be right back. Right back. Alrighty, I am back. Let's see. Uh, yeah, that's and not everybody looks mega cool when they're bald. Some people got it, some people don't got it. Yeah, look at his forehead; it's way too out there. Way too out there. Wow. Okay, look at that. You see how crazy it gets when you go from side to front? It's like constant push and pull. That's cool. You guys are headed towards winter soon. We're headed towards summer here. It's going to be a hot summer where I'm at. I'm in Arkansas, so it's like humid, mega humid. Although I should tell you something. Talking to heat to an Australian is ridiculous. It's probably mega hot in Australia in the summer. When I lived in Michigan, our winters were like your summers. Tell you what, I wonder if I can get those teeth moving. Let's see. Where are those? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Boom, boom. Right, they're way in there. The way the orientation, the way that you can move stuff around mud box is freaking stupid. They are horrible at it. You can't move things according to their orientation. You have to move everything according to the world, right? And it's just problematic. All right, let's do it. Bottom, bottom. Bring it up like that. I mean, that could be worse. There's worse things I've seen. Um, okay, there you go. Let's save it. Yeah, well, I don't know how much snow do you really get in Australia, though. I mean, you get rain that's hard that isn't wet, and I mean, how much snow can you really get? I mean, snow is we get like in Michigan, you get like a ton of it. You get a ton of it. So looking at that guy right now, I will probably say we're in the ballpark. We're getting in the ballpark. Um, that's my take on it right now. I mean, it could be way worse. Okay. What the? Okay. Let me give this guy some lips. His lips are thin, but they're not that thin. He's got some lip on him. Whoa. Really? Wow. Tasmania, that's a long way away. What kind of bugs you got down there? Probably some crazy, crazy bugs. Although Tasmania is pretty far south, isn't it? Like Yeah, like Seattle, like it's not really like a hot and humid as much as it is. I shouldn't say that. It's not really hot as much as it is rainy and cool. I'm guessing. Right, that looks. His mouth looks weird. Every time I touch it, it looks weird. Um, Not that one. This one. So, are you a fan, a comic book fan, a CG fan, or are you a CG fan and a creator? That I would like to know. Oh wow, wow, that's cool. I don't know if you know this, but unlike other countries in the world, if I move to Tasmania, I pay no matter how long I'm there. I always pay income tax to the United States, even if I make all my money in Tasmania and I live there and I got married and all that stuff. Right? Um, I would I would still pay taxes to the federal government, which makes people not want to leave because it's so freaking stupid. But yeah, it'd be really cool to live in a place like that. That chin's just way too big. No, that's not it either. It's not it either. Right, he's not this. So that's tricky. This area here isn't that pronounced. His jaw pops out farther down. Wait, what does that mean? You pay half your. Does that mean that you pay half of your income in taxes? That sound, I don't know. It just sounds crazy. Let's see. Now I can start putting in some of his distinct features. Okay, he does have this deal going on, this like Cheshire cat type of deal. Fuck, that's awesome. That's crazy. That's really good to hear. Well, maybe I'll move there. I think if I move there and I didn't pay U.S. taxes, that I could not pay them, but I could just never come back. Right? I think that's kind of the deal. But that's really cool that it's cheaper there. Okay, that's starting to look like him. That mouth is still angled up too much. Still angled up too much. He looks like he's smiling. And he's got this thing. He's got this thing where it's got a little notch right there. Stop it. That's cool. That's awesome. Are you like a comic book creator? That I would like to know. It's probably tough if you're a CGer and you buy books from people that aren't in Tasmania or Australia. Like if you bought Bancroft's book, I'll bet you would have a good time with the shipping. But from America, you'd have to pay all that shipping, which is crazy. Which is crazy. You know, it's starting to get there, isn't it? He's got these little wrinkles on the side here. That's not too bad. I've seen worse things in my life. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, um it's a different, it's I don't know. There's things that sell books besides the quality. And it's one of those things you realize after you've produced one. You're like, oh wow, I didn't realize that. You know? It's this. This is what sells books. So, you're probably more savvy than I am. I'm not like that. All right, let's add this thing here. But yeah, if you get into it, that'd be super cool. Welcome to the club, brother. It is a curse and a love, and there's no way out. If you do your own thing, it's much harder to make money than it would be if you worked for a company, right? If you do creative work for a company and you did their stuff and they have the big contracts with big companies, then yeah, you can make a lot of money as an artist. But once you realize that's money isn't everything, then doing your own thing is the only option as far as I'm concerned. Well, I mean, that's a good thing. That shows you that you got the creative juices, right? See, something's not right there. Um, that's a good thing to have all those ideas because you can, as long as you can, once you make your own deal, then you can apply that to it, right? So you might have 10 different ways to write your story or to break it down and to make it exciting for people, or to 10 different ideas for villains against your character, stuff like that. I mean, if you have that process already going in your brain, it's a good thing. See, he's got. Fuck, I gotta get a profile of this guy. I'm gonna look for a profile of this guy right now. There we go. I gotta look at it. Son of a gun. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. I guess I can't do it. Here's one. But he's blue. Let's see. Okay. You gotta be kidding me. Can I plug it in over here? My laptop has everything. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So the PC I'm working on is not hooked up to the internet. So I have to use my laptop to get stuff off the internet, which is good. It keeps my PC clean and away from all the internet evil. Here we go. You total bastard. You're bombarding me. Oh, that's cool. That's it's all shop talk. Because I know exactly how you feel. Believe me. There he is. And I'll tell you what. Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's see what I'm missing. Let's see what I messed up. Okay, I'm assuming that he really does have that low. Yeah, see, look at his brow. His brow is way more pronounced. Let's see. And you know what? No, I'm not doing the Yandu to him. Let's see. Just freezing it so I don't. What? Is that what it's called? A hooded eye? I did not know that. That's too big. That's too big. Probably near the front. Like that. I mean, it's getting there. Okay. Let's see. Right. I mean, that's probably not right, but okay. And his nose is straighter. His nose is pretty straight. What the fuck? Okay. So then there's this right here. This, how bumped out that is. His cheek, I should say. Let's grab his cheek, pull it in. His is pretty pulled in. Right? And then how shallow, how deep is his eye socket? Right. I think it's all screwed up. It's all screwed up. Okay. His brow is pretty flat. Right? And it comes down. This probably won't. This probably screwed up. I'm just tell you right now. Doing this like this on the profile, that's probably screwed up. Okay, his eyelid, yeah, it comes down. It's more hooded, but I mean that could be worse. I've seen worse. Okay, let's add eyeballs. Okay, this is gonna be fun because of how they do this in here. So stupid. I hate doing it like this. But what are you gonna do? You have to conform. Those bastards. It's like they want you to buy another program just to be able to do this. That's stupid. The way they thought about doing it. I hate those people. There we go. Awesome. Thanks for stopping by, man. Nice talking to you. I mean, that's not the worst I've ever seen. Right? That's not the worst I've ever seen. Do it, man. Do it. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. When you get back, when you see the final thing, it'll be totally it'll look just like the guy. So it's cool. You'll be able to leave and come back and see an improvement. Okay. Right. This is a thing too. Ah, that's yeah. Right. And there's chin. Gotta have the chin. Okay. This guy's lower lip. All right. I'm gonna put uh a little bit of music. Let's see. That's too much. Tell me, is that too much music? Okay. So his lip comes out a little bit. It looks like. So first of all, hit save. There we go. All right, let's do this. Eyelid. Son of a gun, this is going to be crazy. Telling me right now it's going to be crazy to do this eyelid. Right, his eyelid comes out down more. Like that. His eyes are a little too close. Just a freaking smidge. You know, fuck. It's like there, but it's not there. It's close. Getting there. Fuck. Huh. Well, there you go. That is a crash. It was retopologizing this mesh and it died on me. Boom. Boom. Good thing I saved it. Start. Reboot. Pretty typical. Every once in a while this happens. Here we go. There we go. So I'm going to rebuild the structure according to those lines, which is pretty sweet, actually. And there we go. Let's see if it doesn't crash. Don't fucking crash, dude. Don't crash. Usually it crashes when it gets near the end. I don't know why. But it does. Well, you know. Okay, I guess that's it. What the heck is going on? This is a thing that happens when you do symmetry. Sometimes, son of a gun. Tell you what. Let's go down. 1, 2. Yeah, 2's good. All right, let's add a layer so I can, if it screws up, delete it. Let's go through and soften this. This happens sometimes when you do, what the fuck? When you do you want to make it symmetrical. Sometimes it does this kind of crap, and I fucking can't stand it. But instead of, one solution is to just smooth everything out. It usually works. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. No. Sometimes you gotta go inside the mesh to fix it. This is Crazy Town, basically. That thing right there. There we go. There we go. There we go. It is working. Okay. Right there, that guy right there. It is working. Oh, I see. he is. Smooth him out. There we go. There we go. Okay. That thing right there. That's inside. This is pretty normal for stuff like this to happen. All right. Right there. Where is it? Oh, there it is. There it is. Bang. 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 Bingo. There we go. There we go. Lower that, raise that, pump that out. More lips back. There we go. And that is a retopologized mesh. Bang, bang. There we go.